Hey everyone, welcome back. We are here with challenge number 2 in our social and emotional virtual professional learning week.
That's right, we're back at it again. My name is Will Tolliver Jr. from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's my co-host Shelly Bautista from Carson, California, and we are so excited to be here and we're back to guide you through today's work. Shelly, how are you feeling today? What's on your mind? What's going on?
To be honest, I am stressed with everything going on, like the way school ended last year, starting school virtually, COVID still in full effect, and just the climate of our world. I'm just truly feeling all my feels. So, I think there's really something powerful about stating how you feel. I know for me, it's been great working with you and sharing those feelings.
You know, the icon, the legend, Fred Rogers did say, in times of stress, the best thing we can do for each other is to listen with our ears and our hearts, and to be assured that the questions are just as important as our answers.
Yesterday, we looked at these clips through Daniel's lens and through the child's perspective to really build an understanding of where our children's feelings are coming from and really to anticipate how they can be triggered. We named emotions, we created an anchor chart of different feelings that really our kids can utilize as a tool to help them express themselves. So today, we would like to use those same clips with an emphasis on how Daniel's parents respond to him and use that to guide our work as we learn how to validate our child's feelings. We can help to support our learners through building skills and empathy as adults. So again, focus your attention here on the language that's being used.
Grr! No neighborhood carnival? But we always go to the neighborhood carnival.
I know. Here, come sit with me, my big tiger. Things have changed a lot lately, and it's frustrating. Your dad and I are upset about it too. Do you want to talk about it? Ask questions about what's happening. It might help.
My question is, why can't we go to the neighborhood carnival? Grr!
That's a good question, Daniel. Dr. Anna told us that we shouldn't all get together with our whole neighborhood right now. We're staying far apart so we don't accidentally spread germs.
Oh.
Grown-ups are here to take care of you.
I miss my friends. And Grandpa Pear. And Teacher Harriet.
I miss our family and friends too.
How do you feel when you can't see your friends? I feel sad.
It's okay to feel sad sometimes. Little by little, you'll feel better again.
Yay! Dad's working on his clocks at home again today. That means we can color together.
Actually, Daniel, I may be here at home with you, but I have to focus on my work right now.
I have work to do too.
I'm sorry, Daniel, but I need this space for myself so I can work. Can you please find somewhere else to play?
You don't want to play with me?
Of course I want to play with you, but I can't do two things at once. That's why I feel a little frustrated.
I think as we layer on what we learned yesterday, there's even more to explore in these clips. I mean, we saw Daniel yesterday and how he displayed how important it is for young learners to be able to articulate their feelings. But in these clips, we see how adults receive that articulation of feelings, and we see how important adults' roles are in navigating those feelings. Shelly, can you expand on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, absolutely. In my experience, a lot of times, I'm the only adult in the room. So I can see how it can be very overwhelming in itself. And even more so, navigating these new digital spaces. So to add on an emotional factor from our kids really takes that empathy side to understand them and their emotions and the needs that they have on top of ours. So our responses to these stressful situations are really critical for modeling for our kids what to do in these life moments.
How we react and how we intake our learners' emotions is key. I mean, we are literally shaping how they are received in the world. We are one of their primary adults as educators. And, I think it's so important that we not only model, but we embody empathy, because it really is affecting our kids right now the most with all these social stressors going on. And what's great about the Daniel Tiger Neighborhoods clips is that we see how some of that can play out in everyday interactions. Like when Daniel's dad tells him he can't work with him. He says, "I'm sorry, Daniel, but I need this space so I can do my work. One of the best things to do is to find something else to do on your own." And that takes a lot from us as educators to be able to do that. It's not easy to be able to formulate that language and navigate them through that.
The Daniel Tiger special really highlights that very positive reaction by both parents, and Daniel really models that embodiment that you're talking about, Will. But in spaces where our kids might be triggered to like the extent that, they are no longer self-aware, it's really important that we step in as educators, as caregivers, and, help out. So I really love how Daniel's mom, she repeats what he says to really validate how he feels. And then she says, come sit down. She asks questions and continues to listen, just like we talked about with that Fred Rogers quote. So Will and I really want to know what your thoughts are. We came up with some really great reflection questions for you. So we want you to list some strategies that you saw Daniel's parents use. We want to know what ranges of behaviors do you anticipate having beyond those that Daniel displays from using those strategies? And then how are those responses the same or different in these episodes than from the ones that you've experienced in your classroom?
In the slide, click the image, or you can access the website by typing in the URL into the search bar. Lastly, you can use a device to scan the QR code.
All right, now let's dig into our strategy just a little bit more. Rating the emotion. This can really help adults support a child when they're too overwhelmed and really escalated to, or too escalated to recognize or manage their feelings or behaviors. Again, it's an important opportunity to embody how to communicate when you're upset. Validate your kids' feelings by repeating them or asking them how they may be feeling or why they might be feeling that way. Remember that these behaviors are communicating the child's needs. So build some empathy for your child by hearing, seeing, and listening to them, and really help them to overcome the emotion by reassuring them that, this feeling's not going to last forever. It's reasoning to them why they may be feeling that way.
Shelly, those are some really important points and some really great strategies that I hope that we all can embody this upcoming school year. And there's a lot of research out there that puts that same sentiment at the forefront and really reinforces its importance. So Shelly and I have curated some resources on our Padlet. You may remember that you can access our Padlet by clicking the image, by copying the link or typing it into your search bar, or using a mobile device to scan the QR code. Once you're on Padlet, scroll over to your right and you can access challenge number 2 resources, and that is rating emotions. So what's catching your eye, Shelly? I want to know. Our Padlet's pretty packed with some stuff. I know we have some good stuff on there. What do you think?
I definitely refer my students, family members, and caregivers to the PBS Kids parent site. It really, empowers them to harness their roles as teachers to their kids. Another tool that I really love to use is the Daniel Tiger app. It's just such a cute tool that really provides me with the language and the songs that models the way, they can handle life's tiny little lessons.
I do love the Parents app, and Daniel Tiger is a big hit. One of my favorites is PBS Learning Media. That is a great spot for educators to go to find a hub that amplifies teacher voice and educator voice, that really does root itself in professional learning. So you can go on there and search by any subject that you can imagine. You can build your own portfolio, save resources, And you can even find free professional development opportunities on topics just like this one, social emotional learning, at any age. So feel free to check that out. I think that's a really powerful one.
All right, so now that you've had a chance to explore the Padlet and the resources and tools that you may need for your classroom, we really wanted to give you an extra activity for this challenge to really help you discover how rating your feelings can show different levels of emotions and the way that your kids show those emotions at those different levels. So what we want you to do is pull out that feelings chart that you made yesterday and explore those feelings a little bit further by asking your kids, how do your feelings look like? How do they sound like? How do they feel like? And we'll take it an extra level further by pulling out this Daniel Tiger app. It's actually a website that you can go and find on PBS Kids, or you can also access our slides and click there to play. Then you can explore your feelings just a little bit further than that with this activity to name your emotions and then show how that emotion can be expressed at a low to a very high level just by using the game. So what does that feeling look like? You can make different faces in the mirror, or you can play, you can make different physical motions. Same thing with, how that feeling might look like. Make an artistic expression, maybe scribbling for mad, and just if you're really upset, you might have to tear that paper up. These really show how your kids can express that energy from an inward feeling to an outward release. And then lastly, what does that feeling sound like? You can make different noises. You can cry, you can laugh, you can grunt, and make different sounds using the variety of instruments within your home. Maybe banging two pots together to show like an angry sound, or shaking some maracas to show like a very happy and calm feeling.
Shelly, I think you highlighted some great ways that we can really identify what the root of the emotion is. Am I feeling super angry, or am I feeling a little bit angry, and really doing the work to rate it through different mediums, which I think is so important because we know kids learn and express through different ways. And with that in mind, we know that sometimes kids can't give you that answer to say, I'm feeling like banging two pots and pans together, or they can't give you that example or communicate the intensity of it. Today, we're gonna layer that on to our activity from yesterday. So we're gonna take our feelings chart and we're gonna add a column. Just like in the Feel the Music game and in the exercise, feelings can be experienced in all levels from high to low. So we're gonna create a visual that can help your child rate their feelings by pointing. So you can see some examples here on the screen. Maybe it's a thermometer. Maybe they're feeling red hot, or maybe they're feeling blue cool. Maybe they're feeling super scribbly, or maybe they're feeling just a tiny bit of scribbles, or maybe they're feeling flatline. It really depends, but it's going to be up to you all to create those visuals to say, what do my kids respond well to? Maybe you have a couple different ones that kids can point to, but this is really what we're going to get into today.
Please, please, please do not forget to show off your work and add this chart to our Padlet. You can easily click the plus sign at the end of the column and select how you would like to share.
Please, please, please remember to use our Flipgrid. We want to hear from you, and remember that you can also respond to someone else's comments. We want to generate a fruitful discussion for everyone, so we're getting the most out of this. And importantly, we want to hear your responses to our reflection question. So remember that you can access that Flipgrid through the link, the image, or the QR code.
Speaking of reflection, we would like to leave you with this wonderful Fred Rogers quote that I think really resonates with me and this whole PD that we did today. He says, "We speak more than our mouths and we listen more than our ears." How true is that today? And every day, I hope. Will, send us off.
That man is so full of wisdom. With that, I want to thank you all for joining us today. We hope that you'll continue to learn and grow with us. We have one more challenge coming tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Will Tolliver Jr. That's Shelly Bautista. We're here for you. Hang out with us. See you later.